Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to the Thanksgiving edition of Bengal Magazine. And on today's show, we're going to hoop it up a little bit. Fajri Ansari, the men's coach at Buffalo State, joins us. And Coach is bringing along Jordan Glover, the senior guard from Buffalo and St. Joe's. Kevin Clifford, women's coach, joins us. And Kevin is bringing along his sophomore guard from Williamsville, and that's Grace Licata. And then we have Nick Stone, swimming and diving, and Nick is bringing along his All-American, Connor Mergler, the junior from East Amherst. We'll have the Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. And, of course, Matt Schaefer's here with Bengal Updates. So we've got a big show. Stay with us. We're going to talk hoops when we come back. Well, we're going to hoop it up here a little bit in studio, and joining us is Fajri Ansari, the head coach of the Bengals, now in his 11th season, Coach. It seems like 12th, thank you, it seems like yesterday. And Jordan Glover, his outstanding senior guard from St. Joe's, a Marauder, joins us. So, Coach, first time on the show, we always like to get a little bit of a preview of the roster and the season.
Well, we're happy to have some senior veterans. Most of the returning starters, we've added quite a few new faces, players that we hope that we can start meshing into the lineup as the season go on, and then also for future. But we're excited. Thought we fell a little short last year. Hopefully, with more experience on our belt, went through some challenges, but a little more than what the average. But it's par for the course, as they say in basketball. So hopefully that will help us to be a little stronger this year with experience and maturity.
I was watching the game over the weekend, and I looked at the roster and I went, and then I decided today, and as we get ready for the show, to compare rosters from last year and this year. And there seems to be a number of new faces, and we had talked about it off camera. True, yes, and then there's this core too. So why don't you explain a little bit about that?
Well, certainly we're relying on our core, and it helps with practice. The guys are familiar with the structure and the system and the plays, so that helps the new guys quite a bit. Okay. You don't have as many trying to learn something just brand new, and they're picking up pretty good. Those who are freshmen coming in, even though we have some transfers, they don't have a lot of years under their belt. Right. So it's almost like a brand new, and this level of competition is a little different from what they were used to. But the attitude is good. They're working hard, and we're looking forward to making progress as we go.
Well, you've got the old man on the team next to you, believe it or not. I don't know if age 22 or 23 rates as old, but he's been around a while. This is his fourth year. Jordan Glover joins us. And how do you approach this year, Jordan, knowing that you are like the senior statesman on this team, and you've been around for 4 years, longer as we know. But how do you personally approach this season?
I just come every day, just trying to, make my team better, be a leader, being the captain. But me and LaBelle, we just try to take, bigger steps each and every day just to try to reach our ultimate goal. We've been here for 4 years now.
That's right.
And falling short last couple of years in the playoffs, it hasn't been fun, as we all know. But, just each day just trying to make each other better, make our team better, try to build the guys underneath us so, Coach can have that type of confidence, and stability with the next guys that are coming up.
You had a tough ending to your season last year. You got through 19 games, and then the Achilles kind of gave out. It didn't tear, from what I hear, but how do you feel now? How was the rehab there, and everything all ready to go?
Everything's good now, finally healthy. Training staff did a great job, helping me get back from, over the summer.
Yep.
So I can get ready for this year.
Yep.
So everything's fine with that. Just hoping to stay healthy this year.
There you go. Coach, what do you expect from somebody like this when you look at Jordan Glover? What are your expectations from this guy?
Well, leadership, first off. He knows so much about our system, going back, having coached his dad, and so he's technically been with us all 12 years of my coaching, because he was from a ball boy going up
my goodness.
And sitting on the side and stand. So if it's a play that I start drawing up from a year ago that I might have forgot, he'll remember the name of the play. And so that's very helpful.
Sure.
He keeps us steady. He's an all-around player. Keeps a cool temperament on the court, which is what we need.
Right.
Especially, come playoff time or even home games and the excitement, you know, he usually keeps the teams under control, and so that's very important.
Yeah, I have noticed that about watching Jordan. He's kind of a cool customer when it comes to that. We're coming off a championship in the annual Coles Classic, beating our crosstown rival in the championship game. Tell me, you've got 3 games under your belts, 2 in the Coles. What do you like about this team right now?
Well, the 3 games we have all been competitive. You know, I think the scores look stronger in our favor than the actual game has been.
Okay.
And the teams that we played, besides Pitt Bradford, the main Fort Kent had more than a dozen games under their belt already, and I think Villa Maria was their 7th game they played. So to be able to get through and to execute, we got to work on turnovers and things. I think that has a little bit to do with us starting early, and some people coming off coming off the bench and learning, you know, the chemistry with the other players. But I think it was a good test for us, and I'm obviously happy with the result. And you know, because our league is really going to be, as it is every year, very, very competitive.
Absolutely. Jordan, what did you like out of the, especially out of the tournament this weekend?
Well, most importantly, the win. You know,
yeah, there you go.
The win was very important. I like the way we played together, though. I don't think that we were too selfish at all. I think we moved the ball pretty well. You know, just the pace that we played is kind of, you know, it's the pace that we want to play with. Like Coach said, we want to keep the turnovers down a little bit more than what we did. But, you know, just the camaraderie of the team, you know, is, you know, a good atmosphere that, you know, that we have going so far.
And it's a long season, and we got about a minute and a half left. We were talking off camera. I wanted to ask you this because I was watching one of these old-time games on the NBA Network, and you've been around a little bit, Coach, you know, 25, 30 years of coaching at Turner Carroll and Buffalo State. How's the game? What's different about the game now than when you first got into it as a coach?
Well, the big thing I think has changed is the off-season. The AAU program have influenced significantly on the player because kids are just traveling, playing a lot of games, and it's less time the players are actually in the park, the schoolyard, or in the community centers and playing against older guys where they learn the different nuances of the game. So now, you know, they're more athletic, they're more gifted, talented as ever, but the actual IQ of the game and playing both sides, you know, you may have a great shooter, but he doesn't care as much defensively, where in the past, even if you were a good offensive player, you still had pride on defense. Right. So the fundamentals, and then you watch in the NBA, all the big guys now are playing out, you know, they can shoot from the three-point line, you know, so the inside game has been challenged quite a bit, you know, playing tough. And then the rules have changed where they don't let you play as aggressive, you know, as you were in the past. So those are the things that's changed. You know, the talent has probably, the skill base has probably gone up, you know, but just the nuances and handling adversity and those things I think has been lacking. And then and just playing, you know, playing by yourself and just working out hard and then learning right in a neighborhood game, those things, like the parks are empty. You know, unfortunately, we get like in Buffalo, we probably have the best looking outdoor course than we ever had in the history of Buffalo, but they're far less visited than they were, say, decades ago.
Very interesting. I want to talk about that next time you're on the show. I wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. It is a long season. Enjoy some Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes, sir, we look forward
Thanks, guys, for being on the show. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more hoops. Kevin Clifford for women's basketball joins us. Stay with us. Well, congratulations are going out to Lavelle Smith from the Bengals basketball team. He is this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week, leading the Bengals to a 3-0 start this season. The senior electrical engineering major averaged nearly 23 points and 12 rebounds in the Bengals' 3 wins last week. In fact, he registered 3 straight double-doubles. Lavelle scored 18 points and had 12 rebounds in the win over Pitt Bradford, and then followed that up with 15 points and 11 rebounds in a win over Maine Fort Kent in the opening game of the Coles Classic at the Sports Arena. And then he matched his career high with 35 points to go along with 12 rebounds in a win over Villa Maria. That was in the title game of the Coles Classic. So not surprisingly, he was named the tournament MVP. So again, congratulations going out to Lavelle Smith, this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. And we go from men's basketball to women's basketball. And Kevin Clifford joins us along with Grace Licata, the sophomore guard from Williamsville South, the Billy. Coach, first time on the show this year. Why don't you give us a little preview of what we can expect from the team?
Oh, thanks for having us on the show.
You're welcome.
We are a new team. I wouldn't say young, but we're a new team. We have 10 new players out of 15, some transfers, 6 freshmen.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of teaching and a lot of explaining and some new concepts. It's been a great job by the upperclassmen, especially Grace and a few others that are helping with that, being role models and good leaders. So it's been fun. It's exciting. I love going to practice. I love the unselfishness of the team, and the team chemistry has been really, really good on and off the court.
We like when you like going to practice, Coach. I mean, that's very helpful. You hear what he just said. I mean, a lot of new faces, and here you are, a sophomore, and you're looked upon as already like, okay, help these people out here a little bit on the court. What's it like for you as a sophomore to have that type of role placed on your shoulders?
I love it. I love the new players that we have. I love the challenge to kind of be looked up upon and see whatever I have to do to help the team. It's awesome. It's awesome to have the new players and do what I have to do to help them out.
Very, very good. 10 of 15 new faces. That's how many new faces. Freshmen and sophomores, a couple transfers. You kind of implied a little bit, but how does that change the coaching philosophy, you going onto the court in practice? Do you take a little bit more time setting up the system and making sure they know the system?
Yes, we shorten practice in terms of less drills, so we have more time, to give more time for those segments and drills. So maybe we spent 20 minutes on defense last year, maybe we'll spend 30 minutes on defense this year. Right. And then again, eventually we could shorten those times once the season goes on, once they pick it up. So we brought in a small group. We love the recruits that we brought in because now they complement the players that we've had returning, and now we could play the style that we want to play, which is up-tempo, team defense, changing defenses. So we brought in some size, which we like. So, but now we have a lot of pieces to the puzzle: shooters, scorers, defenders, and some size.
And Grace, your expectations this year. I keep bringing up sophomore. It feels like you've been around for 4 years. I don't know, maybe it's your personality. I see you a lot in the hallways. But you came off the bench as a freshman, as most freshmen do. Now all of a sudden you're a sophomore and you're starting. How do you feel about that? And how do you see your role this season for this team?
I'm just trying to do whatever it takes to make the team as successful as we can. Very good. No matter what it is, starting, coming off the bench, scoring, defense, whatever it is, whatever I can do to help us win is what I really am aiming to do.
And what are you expecting from her?
Oh, Grace is a true team player.
It sounds like it.
Team first attitude.
Sure.
You tell her to do something once, she does it. As a coach, that's a coach's dream. She's a leader, even though she's not the captain per title. She's been great, first one in practice. She came in great shape this year. So really working hard. Every day in practice, she doesn't have a bad practice, so attitude-wise. We expect big things from her. Obviously, she could shoot, and she's known as a shooter, but she does all the little things in the right spots on defense. This weekend, she made great defensive plays, steals, and 1 layups. And then some of the passes, they're on the website now with highlights where they passed it to her, and she threw a couple lobs to a couple of the bigs running.
Nice.
So on Tuesday, she basically won the game for us with some big shots off the rebound. She had like 8 points in felt like 8 seconds.
Wow.
So she did a great job with that. So, but she does all the little things, and off the court as well. Yeah. And she's a great student. So, I think her character. Is the biggest thing.
There you go.
So.
You come from, the viewers may know the Licata family, the Licata name. Certainly your brother Joe was a quarterback, a record-setting quarterback at Williamsville South. And then he went on to great things at UB, quarterbacking the Bulls. And we were talking off camera that it wasn't really a competitive family, but you lean on Joe and your dad, Gil Licata, who many people know in Western New York, as kind of role models. Tell us a little bit more about your brother Joe and your dad and what they meant to you.
Well, my whole family I've looked up to. I'm the baby of the family, so I've always been treated as the baby. So my dad is a really successful coach. He was, and now he's a principal, so
that's right.
He's always been a role model to pretty much everyone in his life. And my brother, like you said, was a quarterback, he's amazing. I mean, it was never competitive ever growing up. I was just kind of looking at him as a role model. I mean, his work ethic, the way he handled all the situations that was thrown at him. That's how I wanted to be.
Sure.
How I wanted to become the leader and the player that he was. That
Wow.
I looked up to, definitely.
Oh, that's fantastic. We have about a minute and a half left. A terrific ABCOT tournament to start the season, at least at home here. Beat Casanova, came within a couple points of winning the championship after being up for most of the game. What do you learn about the team in this tournament, Coach?
Well, I love their unselfishness. We are deep. And I just love the defense. The defense has been great. We gave up 50-something points on Friday. We gave up 64 points on Saturday. We didn't do a great job finishing the game out on Saturday, but we outplayed them, I think, for about 3.5 quarters. So, and the stats too shows it. So we're +1 in rebounding. So we're doing a good job rebounding.
Right.
We're +7 right now in rebounding. We didn't shoot the ball that well, and we still had a chance to win. So once we are shooting, and we do a lot of shooting in practice and free throws, once we do that and shoot better, I think I'm very optimistic about the team and very excited about the team. We are young and new, but I think they're really coming together. They're playing well together. They're sharing the ball, which I like. Our team defense has been pretty good. There's always room for improvement.
Well, game tomorrow. Good luck with that. And then a little turkey for Thanksgiving. Wish you both the best over the holiday.
Thank you
Thanks for
having
being
us.
on the show. Another quick break here at Bengal Magazine. And when we come back, we're going to go in the pool, talk a little swimming and diving. Stay with us.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bengal Update. I'm Matthew Schaefer with a recap of news, scores, and a look at upcoming events surrounding Buffalo State athletics. Men's basketball opened its season a perfect 3-0, including winning the Buffalo State Coles Classic this weekend at the Buffalo State Sports Arena. The Bengals knocked off Maine Fort Kent in the opening game of the tournament and followed it with a 94-83 win over Villa Maria in the championship game. Lavelle Smith matched a career-best 35 points and added 12 rebounds and 3 blocks in winning the tournament's MVP award. Mike Henry was also named to the all-tournament team along with Smith. Women's basketball also hosted a tournament on campus this weekend and advanced to the championship game of its Betty Abgott Invitational before falling 64-62 to Nazareth. Prince Ellen McCullough was named to the all-tournament team, and the Bengals now sit at 2-1 on the young season. Men's hockey made it 4 straight wins after bouncing the SUNY Canton Kangaroos 4-0 and 6-3 over the weekend. Robert Smith scored 2 goals on Friday, and Mac Wood added 2 on Saturday to help lead Buffalo State to victory. Buffalo State improved to 4-1-1 on the year and hosts Stevenson at the Buffalo State Ice Arena this Thanksgiving weekend. Friday's game will start at 7 p.m., while Saturdays will face off at 4 p.m. Women's hockey fell twice to number 3 Elmira over the weekend. The Bengals are currently 4-3-1 and will head to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut this Saturday and Sunday. All hockey games this weekend can be watched live at buffalostateathletics.com. For Bengal Update, I'm Matthew Schaefer. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and we'll send it back to Tom Koller in the studio.
Well, thanks a lot, Matt, for that Bengal update. And we're joined now by the swimming coach here at Buffalo State, Nick Stone. And Nick's bringing along his All-American, Connor Mergler, to the show. We had Adrian on, your assistant, a couple weeks ago, but I'm kind of curious what the head coach thinks of his program right now. Let's start with the men's side.
Yeah, both sides are very new. We brought in quite a few new athletes.
Okay.
So a lot of new faces on the team and getting used to the coaching and kind of like new training because a lot of them didn't have a lot of club background, mostly high school only swimmers. But we're training really well. The returners look great in the water. They're doing sets on faster intervals than we did last year. At this time, they're swimming faster in the dual meets and kind of putting up some good challenges with like their lineups and stuff, and still putting up really good times.
Okay.
And in the weight room, they're crushing the weights and hitting their PRs from the end of last season now. So
Great.
They're doing a really good job.
So ahead of the game.
Yep.
Are you ahead of the game, Nick? I mean, we talked off camera. You came on in June of last year, 15, and man, that's a tough spot to be in. What was that like for you when you look back? You kind of go, holy smokes, it's June and swimmers will be here in a couple months. What was the process like for you?
It was most of the first part of the process was just meeting with the swimmers. The ones that are local I met with in my office, kind of chatted a little bit just to introduce myself and kind of hear where they were at swimming wise and kind of just mostly get comfortable. I met Connor at a Tim Hortons and we just met. And,
everybody meets at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, just chatted and kind of got on the same page of goals and kind of what the program was like before, because I wanted to keep like the overall like team feel there for them and kind of the same message, and but then introduce a little bit of what I have.
And now you've got a year underneath your belt, and again, maybe bringing in your people, your type of swimmers.
Yeah, it's getting out there more, kind of casting a wide net to bring in different recruits, a lot of local recruits and things like that. And so far, the recruiting pool's doing pretty well. So, yeah, I can't complain. It's been a great year so far.
Great.
Year-long process.
Well, it helps to have this guy next to you too. A
Yeah.
two-time All-American, 5-time conference champion. And Connor, when I want to talk specifically about you, if we can. What is your vision for your junior year? You're an All-American now, 4th in the 100 free, 6th in the 50 free at the Nationals last year. Where do you see yourself when this season's over with?
Ultimately, with the end of the season, I'd like to be top 3 in both my events at Nationals. If not, hopefully a national champion. But for this season, I would like to be top 3.
Are you at all, do you kind of look at where you are right now and go, I can't believe I'm at this level already? Or did you sense that this is where I should be right now? I should be competing for a national championship.
I think right now with training and everything, I think I'm kind of ahead of game than I was last year.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to end of the season, big things, and seeing where I'm at.
And I know it's difficult. You have another year then. And so what is the big picture vision for Connor Mergler in swimming and diving?
Big picture would be national champion.
Okay. And what does it take to bring a national championship to Buffalo State? What is he going to have to do?
We've been working a lot on technique-wise. His stroke last year we developed, it's called the shoulder-driven freestyle. The University of Michigan head coach Mike Bottom kind of developed it. So it's a lot more power-oriented and for the sprint events that he does. So we worked on that and then talking with other coaches and figuring out how to make that better. So lengthening his stroke out and getting it to be where we want to develop the most power but also get the most out of it. And be efficient. The weight room is going to be key for him, and he's been doing really well. He's PR'd in his hang clean and getting close to his squat. So we've been doing that, and then he's been doing some really great aerobic work for the 200 and 100. So working with Connor is probably the motivation he brings into the practices, and the drive is there, and so he's doing the work and putting up great times, and now it's just us making sure the stroke's strong and moving the water that needs to do.
So this guy comes in, you're a 2-time All-American, and he walks in someday and says, we're going to kind of change your stroke a little bit. We're gonna tweak it. Now, I'm not sure if that's how the conversation went or not, but it sure sounds like it to me. And you kind of sat there and went, sure, coach, why not? I mean, I would think you would be somewhat apprehensive, but what was the conversation like, Connor, when he came in and said, let's do some different things here?
At first, I thought it was kind of crazy.
Good.
But I mean, I can always go up from here.
Yeah.
So learning new things from other coaches, like over my 15 years of swimming, has really helped me develop. And so, what can I learn from hearing from a new coach and learning new things? So.
And it's not just a new coach. You're bringing in, I mean, some coaches, national coaches. Was it tough to convince him, or was he apprehensive, or all in?
Sophomore year, a little apprehensive, kind of moving along. But then as the season went along, and we kind of saw the results that we were putting up, and I think the trust getting there. And then this year, it's been full blown because I worked at the University of Michigan this past summer with their coaching staff, and just having them look at Connor's video and then sending him the their comments and their thoughts on it, and we've been making some really great changes with it so far. So. And it's really cool. The swimming world's pretty small, so if there's anything that needs help, you can just send it out on text or whatnot. So.
High tech. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. Guys, I wish you the best of luck. It's a long year. Wish you the best of luck and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for Bengal Magazine, this edition of Bengal Magazine. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for more Bengal Magazine.